Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and for another round of C.Dat.Guy review movies. My name is Christian and today we will be reviewing The Lion King 2019. It's been 25 years since the original Disney animated hit from 1994, and I know I'm very late on this, but by the time this review gets out, the movie would have probably be made $1 billion. Um, and of course, this further drives the question, should Disney continue with these live action remakes? I'll answer that question at the end of the review. For me, I was going in without any expectations. I didn't even bother to rewatch the original because I believe I've watched that enough times that all those scenes are ingrained in my head. And before every movie I watch, I always just kind of want to check Rotten Tomatoes just to see what the critics and audience have to say about it. And I guess maybe not expected was the critics were divided on it. Meanwhile, the audiences liked it, as I thought they would. Rating wise, it was the same as Aladdin, the 2019 remake, and I ended up liking that movie, so I was hoping for the same scenario to happen in this one. So, let me start with what I liked. The visuals were outstanding. From the very beginning of the opening scene to Simba's final roar in the rain, we were definitely transported to Pride Rock. And I know I said I didn't have any expectations with this movie, but knowing that Disney specifically chose Jon Favreau to direct this movie after he made the Jungle Book remake a success, I thought, we would at least have something beautiful to look at. Since they weren't working with any real people or with any real animals, I had to do a bit of research to how they shot this movie, and it turns out that they shot it with VR headsets, which I find impressive because I really don't know how that works. And I know there's some debate on whether this counts as a Disney live action or it's still animated. And for me, I fall on the animated part just because you really had to give credit to the animators for doing great recreations of scenes like the stampede or exploring Timon and Pumbaa's at least their side of the jungle. I thought it was all real nice to see. I thought the voice acting was serviceable. I thought everyone did what they were supposed to do, but I really like that they brought James Earl Jones back for the voice of Mufasa because that's an iconic voice. I mean, me loving Star Wars, Darth Vader, Mufasa, I'm just glad they brought him back. And honestly, for me, I know Donald Glover, Beyonce, and the rest of the cast, they're all talented, but I mean, I think they really casted him just so they can bring a bigger audience to this movie. But really, in my opinion, I think they could have casted anyone and the result could have been the same. However, I thought the best parts of the movie were Timon and Pumbaa and, even Zazu. So, props to Billy Eichner, Seth Rogen, and John Oliver for really bringing those characters to life. I think what really made them special was that they had more lines, they had more original lines, and I think for the most part they were, since they're all, kind of comedians, they got to riff more, seemed like they got to improv more. I don't know if they got to write their own lines, but whatever they got, the writers or whoever did their lines, I thought they were great. And then the last thing I appreciated was that they brought back Hans Zimmer for the original score. I know for a lot of us, we probably found him through either the Dark Knight trilogy or Inception or Pirates of the Caribbean, but little did we know we were already fans of him back in 1994 when he did the original score. Alright, so now here are my negatives. Like I said up top, the critics were divided on this movie while the audiences generally liked it. Unfortunately, I have to side with the critics on this one. So personally, when it comes to a movie, story is a huge part for me. And while the story is great, we've already seen this movie. We've already seen this story. I understand this is a remake, and for many people, if it's doing exactly what it's doing like the original movie, then there should be an issue. Forgive me a bit, I'm going to kind of compare this to the Aladdin remake. What I appreciated about Aladdin was that though the main story is the same, they had some character changes, they added some new characters, they changed the story details a bit, and it kind of made it stand out from the original. Even though I still like the original better, I thought the new Aladdin was also pretty good. Unfortunately, I was pretty bored watching The Lion King, basically because the story is exactly the same. The movie goes pretty much beat by beat. You know what's happening next, there's no surprise. I think the only new scenes that they really added was Nala escaping from Pride Rock. They had a few extra scenes with Timon and Pumbaa's part of the jungle. And then I think they added that one hair sequence, or at least a longer hair sequence, to show Rafiki that Simba's alive, but other than that, everything seemed pretty much the same. Another part of the movies that's a huge deal to me is the acting. In this case, we're going to go with the voice acting because, like I said, they're not dealing with any real people or any real animals, it's just the voice actors. This might come off as nitpicking to some people, maybe not, but there was no expressions on the face and it did not match, the inflections of their voice. I know real animals can't act, they can't be told what to do unless they're domesticated. But, since we're already in, Disney's land of make-believe, why not give them more expressions? I'm sure Donald Glover, Beyonce, Chiwetel Ejiofor, James Earl Jones, they really did what they could with it. But, like I said, they were serviceable. They could only do so much because now it's up to animators to really make expressions that match their face. I mean, you can think of like Aslan, from the Chronicles of Narnia. Same thing. He's a lion. He still had some, expression. It's not too much, but at least you know whether Aslan's calm or Aslan's angry or anything like that. But with Simba, when he's singing songs or when his dad is dead, spoiler alert, it's the same. This is Simba happy. And this is Simba sad. And this is Simba feeling like in love. It's the same face the whole time. Every character looked either bored or hungry. I mean, I guess, like real animals. And I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but that's really how I felt watching the movie. Once again, it's no coincidence that, Timon, Pumbaa, and Zazu, they were the standouts. And to me, it becomes an issue if your side characters are more interesting than the main cast. And unfortunately, after really thinking about the movie again, there were two more things that they kind of ruined for me, in my opinion. First was Be Prepared. I actually thought it wasn't going to be in the movie because I heard earlier that they're not going to bring back all the songs, but then the public found out about it, and hey, Be Prepared is an underrated Disney song that I think people really like, and so I guess they heard that, they made that decision, like, okay, let's put Be Prepared back, and man, I think they should have just left it out because the song, it just seems like it snuck in conversation. I mean, that's how it did in the original, but it seemed like just halfway, and it seems like they just cut the song in half and they really just butchered it. Man, that was a bummer. And then also one character that, not a major character, but Rafiki. Do you guys remember how interesting he was in the original? He was always like crazy talking. He's the wise guy, and they didn't even reveal his stick until like the final fight of the movie. In the original, you see him walking in the beginning with it, and that's where he gets his fruits and whatnot. But they only show it in the final fight, and it's like they really didn't do anything with his character. We're just like, okay, let's just put him in because he's still supposed to be guiding Simba, and well, they removed, I guess, the cool parts that I liked about him, and they just kind of, that's all they did. They just really cut out parts that I really liked about him. So unfortunately, that was another downside for me. So, Should Disney continue with the live action remakes? Well, this movie didn't need to be remade, but once again, money talks. Disney is staying on top with pretty much everything they own, which, now that they acquired Fox, they have their own animation, they have their live action remakes, they have their, just general live action, they have Pixar, they have Star Wars, they have Marvel, Avatar, and all these other franchises. So, you know what? As far as Disney's concerned, they don't care. As long as they're making money, then they see that nothing is broken. Should they continue? I guess financially, yeah. If they're making money, we know they're not going to stop. But I just hope that the upcoming live action remakes, that they do not end up like this movie, because I'm really excited for Mulan, and maybe they should focus on the lesser known or older Disney movies, like maybe The Black Cauldron or Sword in the Stone. Maybe they could do that, because if they weren't really liked or well known, this is their shot to bring it out to the public. Otherwise, if they are very popular, well beloved, like The Lion King, for me, they shouldn't touch it. But I really hope Mulan's good. Overall, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm gonna have to give this movie a 5 out of 10. The visuals and the music were great, but it was the lack of the change in story and the honestly soulless expressions that made the movie boring to me. Timon and Pumbaa, they were the saving grace, but honestly, I don't think I need to see this movie ever again. But if none of that really bothers you, and you just really want to see a modern version of Lion King, I say go ahead and watch it. Otherwise, I think you can just go back to watch the original and enjoy that. So there's my movie review. Do you agree or disagree with me? Make sure you leave your responses in the comments below. You can like or dislike this video, and if you want to see more movie reviews coming up, just subscribe to this channel, and I hope you guys join me in the next one. Bye.